Okay, the history of drag and drag culture. This is part 2, by the way. Religious rituals in mythology have included cross-dressing and gender transformation for millennia. In Greek myth, Heracles, enslaved by Omphale, was said to have donned women's clothing while carrying out women's work, while Achilles' mother Thetis dressed him in women's clothing to hide him from taking part in the Trojan War. Tiresias was transformed into a woman either after seeing Athena undressed or interrupting a pair of mating snakes, depending on the version. He is later transformed back into a man and is blinded by Hera for siding with Zeus in the debate over who enjoyed sex more, the man or the woman. Tiresias agreed with Zeus that the woman did, asserting of 10 parts a man enjoys only one, or enjoys one only, but a woman enjoys the full 10 parts in her heart. With respect to Norse myth and Thyon's poem from the Poetic Edda, Thor dressed as Freyja to retrieve his stolen hammer, Mjolnir. Loki accompanies Thor, and together the two sons of Odin, dressed like a bridesmaid and bride, respectively, slay the giant Thrym and successfully put Mjolnir back into the hands of its rightful possessor. Odin, for his part, was known to wear women's clothing when prophesying. Cross-dressing is also found in veneration of the goddess Yelama and Lord Rama, with a festival held annually for the latter. The celebration brings together men as well as transgender women. In the words of one follower, the event lets them demonstrate faith in the goddess and serves as an opportunity to dress up because many of our parents are not aware of our real identity. At least in the name of God, I can openly very sorry. Um, Ancient plays were performed by all male cast, meaning men wore female garb. It doesn't mention Shakespeare, but Shakespeare is the Shakespearean times is one of those times where um men dressed as women to be in a play. Drag performances experienced significant changes in Elizabethan England. Oh, there we go. The term drag is often used in discussions of William Shakespeare's play, said to reference the dragging of long robes worn by male actors in female roles. Whether or not drag has its origins with Shakespeare remains unclear, but just like his playwright predecessors, he penned roles for women that were presented by men in women's clothing. Although Shakespeare didn't invent drag, there was a more recognizable connection between cross-dressing, gender, and sexuality in his work, at least one that received more attention from observers. For a time, kabuki theater was performed by all-male cast, which is reminiscent of ancient performances, but the gendered aspects of kabuki, especially cross-dressing, are on the opposite timeline from those in the Western tradition. Young male actors who appeared as female characters called wakashu kabuki. They were banned out of fear of moral integrity, replaced by adult men who play women or anagata. Some drag queens in modern Japan distinguish themselves from anagata with their clothes, dancing, and other aspects of life. That said, drag queen Miss Leading told Tokyo Weekender in 2022, the drag scene here is tiny, really, compared with other places. Most of the queens in Tokyo are gay men, and very guarded despite the importance of female icons in the culture. Okay. In England during the 1700s, Molly houses were places where subculture of men met, socialized, and took part in various sexual activities. Molly was a store for gay men. One of the most famous Molly houses, run by Mother Clapp, Margaret Clapp, was raided in 1726 in response to the licentious and illicit goings-on. In 1718, Jonathan Wild, an 18th century cook and police informant, offered insight about cross-dressing at the establishment when talking about a previous raid there. Of course, I'm skipping some. Pantomime dames and slapstick performances appeal to audiences of all kinds. Drag balls gave rise to an entire drag culture. By the 1920s, drag balls were events where underrepresented and vulnerable populations could express themselves, especially gay men. The connection between drag balls, some of which were held in secret, and gay, lesbian, and transgender populations, LGBTQ+, will be used going forward, with acknowledgement of ongoing conversations about its history and adaptation, became nearly inextricable. If you look at the greats of the Harlem Renaissance, be they singers or writers or artists, so many of them were gay. Heterosexual people felt comfortable attending the Hamilton Lodge Ball as spectators, and LGBTQ people felt comfortable attending as themselves with their lovers, boyfriends, and friends. Drag balls and houses that developed during the 1920s and 1930s established a drag culture, albeit one that continued to take on new forms by the mid-20th century. The once integrated drag balls began to fragment along racial lines, according to scholar Tim Lawrence. Drag culture found expression in Vogue dancing during the late 20th century. Drag has increased in visibility, but it's unclear if drag will ever fully go mainstream. RuPaul noted that the legacy of the show is in those young people, and they will carry that legacy with them for the rest of their lives. Whether or not drag will ever go completely mainstream remains to be seen. In the words of RuPaul, it won't, because drag is completely opposed to fitting in. Okay, and now the greatest signs from Pride Month. If you don't like gay marriage, blame straight people. They're the ones who keep having gay babies. If God hates gays, why are we so cute? Jesus hung out with 12 guys and a prostitute. He was more like me than like you. Homosexuality is sin. Christ can set you free. Corduroy skirts are sin. I don't even know what a corduroy skirt is. Guys, I said I hate figs. If you have skeletons in your closet, you've been in there too long. Christians together at Pride. Queerly beloved. I just want one marriage. It's not like I'm Newt Gingrich or anything. Married 4 years longer than Britney Spears. June is Gay Pride Month. Big sale on Zima. Total coincidence. Was going to make a sign, but too busy having gay sex. I'm gonna F the fat bearish one after the parade. And that's it. Bye, guys.